Are you excited, ladies, gentlemen, and other fine people of the world? This is finally the first match of MWC Osu Mania World Cup of 2021. I will be casting myself, Pâturage, with Potassium. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This is really hyped, actually, because as we've all seen a little bit of a glimpse of some of these teams last week from the qualifiers, and I think the qualifier results have been pretty shocking, like some parts of it. Not just in how good some teams are, but how close they are together. So I reckon this week we're actually going to see a lot of spicy matches, and I think this is a pretty good one to start it off. Philippines versus Taiwan coming out here. I think this is seed 8 versus what is it? Seed 8 versus again? 20 something. 25?
I completely forgot. I don't have my notes open.
Yep, no, I'm good. It's 25. I was right the entire time. So Philippines being the seed 8, just making it into that top seed kind of category. But at the same time, as I said before, a lot of these scores were quite close between teams. So even though there is a decent seed advantage for Philippines, like theoretically, there are a lot of scores that I think Taiwan could definitely take.
Yeah, like keep in mind that in the qualifiers, I think 38 players played, 38 teams, played the qualifiers, and only the top 32 made it out of the qualifiers. To give you a representation, the 32nd team is Belgium, and Belgium has some really good players in it. So
Belgium was one of the, you would think of as one of the scary unseed teams in the previous World Cups, but now being essentially dead last in the qualified teams is a pretty scary thought in general.
Yeah, so this gives you an idea of how stacked the top 32 of this year is going to be. And there are a couple of changes compared to last year as well, especially in terms of map pool difficulty, especially towards the beginning. The round of 32 is so much harder than last year.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a massive one actually. Even from the qualifiers we saw, compared to even last year, all the years before, this map pool for round of 32 is way harder. Like, not even comparable to like any of the previous years for group stage or round of 16. This is like somewhere like round of 16 to quarterfinals-ish level of like previous years. So we are kind of skipping a lot of that ACK battle, and it'll be exciting because a lot of teams we'll see have some hidden talent with the higher end of difficulty that they've never kind of been able to show off before in previous World Cups.
Yeah, absolutely. Like qualifiers is a net benefit to this tournament. And speaking of skipping, there's a huge change also. Another huge change to the World Cup that we do not have warm-ups anymore, which means we can go right into the action.
Yeah, I was waiting for the first warm-up actually. I should switch that mindset around. But we're going straight into the roles. There are no more warm-ups, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you are. But for now, it is going to be straight up into the roles. And it looks like Taiwan has rolled a 55, first of all. Pretty solid first roll of the tournament.
Yeah, just slightly above average, yeah.
Yeah, you'd take it. It's not terrible. We'll see what Philippines manages to roll.
Yeah, meanwhile, you can see the current map pool for the round of 32. It's looking pretty snazzy.
Yeah, there's some pretty challenging maps, especially I would say a lot of the hybrid maps are quite difficult physically, right? The only thing I think from previous years that is probably toned down a little bit is the SV. But I think that kind of makes the pick and ban a little bit more interesting because we're going to see a lot less SV bans than we normally would.
Yeah, some teams might consider the SV picks as kind of accuracy testers because some of the accuracy-minded players might switch to an SV mindset compared to last year.
Oh, it looks like Philippines has rolled their chances of winning to be 27%. Taiwan is now favored in this match, but it looks like Taiwan will at least win the roll first of all. So the first ban going over to Philippines. We'll see what they want to ban. Looking at their qualifiers, I was actually pretty interested in that the worst worst in quotation marks, but the worst performance for Philippines would have been in the LN. But at the same time, having a player like Silhouette Els on your team kind of makes you hesitant to ban the LN. But it looks like they're going to go for it anyway. They're going to ban the more release-heavy LN map in Harajuku Iyohoi.
Yeah, absolutely. It does not matter how good Els is at LNs. We all know, well, Mania players, Season Mania players know how good Els is at LNs, but it does not matter because this is a team tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy. Els from the Philippines actually on Harajuku Iyohoi getting on stage 4. Stage 4 and 5 getting the, I think, third and second highest individual scores on those maps. So it's pretty crazy to see them banning LN. It just goes to show that Taiwan is scary enough in their own right at LN. But hang on a second. This is unexpected. It looks like neither team is interested whatsoever in playing LN.
Well, I guess the LNs are the new SV.
Yeah, I guess maybe this is the new thing. The SVs have been toned down a little bit. Everyone is now good at SVs, so LN are just going to be banned out, I guess.
Shoutouts to SVSC.
That was an interesting one, but I guess Taiwan just feel comfortable with some of the other ones. I would have thought maybe destroy. Like some of the more physically intensive maps were what Taiwan would want to ban. But it looks like they're going straight for the SB, and I think this is a pretty good idea. Taiwan's best qualifier score was definitely their stage 1.
Yeah, I think that definitely Runes would be one of their best chances of getting a point. Runes is very accuracy based, and the edit of this one raises DOD from 7 to 8. And given all the SV shenanigans that there is in this map, well, yeah, I believe that Taiwan is going to go for hard accuracy mode here.
Yeah, SV is always kind of a little bit unpredictable in a way. This year, obviously, people have been saying Ruins in particular has been quite easy, but I find that it still does require a lot of focus. Like, if you slip up even a tiny bit, you can drop the 200 really easily in some of the sections.
Yeah, in my experience, well, at least from the experiences I've seen around, especially on SVSC, Runes is very easy to get like the 980k in like 5 minutes or side tree, but getting that 995k, for example, is going to require some huge work and training.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're saying, like, expecting 995ks to come out, but like everyone, the stage 1 scores were kind of ridiculous for all teams.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I would say that like every single team in this tournament, there's like almost no teams in this tournament that can't play SV anymore.
Yeah, as someone who helped on SV pooling, I was very attentive to the average SV score on Radiant. Radiant is not an easy SV map at all. Like, the memo at the beginning always gets you, but there are so many 990k scores. I did not expect that many.
They're a huge amount. I was like shocked. The amount of 990 from like teams that you wouldn't expect either, like Spain in particular, you see up there getting ridiculously high scores.
Well, I mean, Spain has always been an SV team, but right now they have a triple SV bonanza, which netted them the second SV seed, which was really exciting to see.
Yeah, well, for now it looks like all the players have shifted around in the lobby. We have Kura, Els, and the Mystery L for Philippines, with Folard, Chang Panda, and Sign Up Radia for Taiwan. I know Fola in particular on the Taiwanese side had a pretty exceptional stage 1 score. So I'll definitely look for some of those players on Taiwan to pull up the team score, potentially get a point off of Philippines in this first point.
Yeah, the few players that are the few people who might be playing Fantasy World Cup organized by Lave right here in the chat might be interested in Kura's performance, because Kura is one of the cheaper ones in the fantasy game.
Yeah, Kura is a name we've seen a few times as well in the Philippines. I believe in previous World Cups, as well as Els. Obviously, Els has been in the Philippines team for a while. I don't think the Mystery L has played before in the Philippines team, though. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember them from previous World Cups.
So this could potentially be a bit of a debut for the Mystery L, and of course, the Taiwanese team in the bracket stage. So the start of this map is starting pretty straightforward. Doesn't look like there's many accuracy drops yet. So it's basically tied still at the start.
We're gonna see similar scroll speeds from everyone involved, except for the Mystery L.
Yeah, Mystery L has a quite low scroll speed, which can be a little bit risky because it does get quite slow in the midsection. Oh, Chang Panda dropping a couple 200s there. It's actually going to swing the lead a little bit over to Philippines.
But keeping on Mystery L is the one the only one who is above 99.9% accuracy right now.
This is an incredible ratio. 99.92%. We'll see now. We're getting into this this middle section.
Yeah, right now we kind of. Oh my god! Els, what happened, Els?
A massive miss from it. Hang on. Keyboard issues potentially. It looks like. Or.
What's going on there?
But this is a complete swing over to Taiwan, unless it's a client bug. At this point, though, I don't think it is a client bug.
Yeah, if it's a keyboard issue, it is absolutely devastating because within the rules, we are in the middle of the song right now, and the Philippines will have to yield the point to Taiwan, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is way too late in the map to call a restart, so it does look like, unfortunately, it will go to Taiwan. Mystery L, though, still holding this incredible ratio, this accuracy.
Oh my god, this is absolutely devastating to see from Els right now.
I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know what this could be.
Okay, it might be an FPS issue from information that we are receiving from the backstage. But we can still welcome Mystery L's absolutely astounding score. 51 regulars with the 997k. That's a score that would rival some of the top scores from SVSC.
That is an absolutely incredible score. 997k for the very first map of the tournament here. Fola as well, also getting the Score V1 SS with a pretty solid ratio as well, 993k.
And Taiwan overall with the very cohesive performance, actually.
Yeah, 5 FCs on the board here. Just unfortunate that the map was decided in the way it was. But otherwise, very solid performance from Taiwan in their first map. And you really do hate to see it, but Philippines really do need to pick their next pick wisely now. Because after that, you really want to score one back immediately, to not let it slip, let it get in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I would really hate it to see it happen again on the Nara picks, because Els is definitely the one carry for the Philippines alongside Swansea and.
Yeah, Els is definitely up there as one of the best players in my mind from the Philippines that I am aware of. Swansea, of course, being just in general amazing at the game. But it looks like they're going to go with Iterated, so they're going straight for the Rice picks. Gonna see more of a stream map coming in now. So we'll get to see some of the more physical abilities of these players from both teams.
Yeah, Iterated is one of the harder maps in my opinion from the Rice pool. Iterated is like 212 BPM jump streams, and those are not so friendly patterns.
Yeah, a few tricky bursts in between the jump streams as well, and of course at 212 BPM, much faster than you would expect in a first pool of a tournament. I think Taiwan did very slightly struggle with Mariochi Survivor, and Stage 8. So perhaps Philippines trying to attack a small window of opportunity that they see from Taiwan's qualifier performance here. And
it might actually be also a moment for Els to figure out her issues, actually, because we are not seeing her in the roster for the Philippines. Instead, we're seeing Swansea J1002 and Mysterio.
Yeah, so we're seeing Swansea coming in. Obviously, Swansea I expect to be in for pretty much all Rice maps. And J102 is a name I'm not too familiar with, but they were in for the Rice maps for stages 7 and 8 for Philippines. It did perform quite well. So we'll have to see how they perform as a team now. And it looks like Taiwan is just going to be switching out Fola with Murarachi.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that we see quite a crossover between SV and Rise, which does not happen that often.
Yeah, usually it's quite common for teams to have like somewhat of a dedicated SV player that they would substitute in. For the Philippines, it seems like Kura was that player for the first map. Taiwan do seem to have a fairly consistent roster for now, at least. At the start here, actually, we're seeing some really high accuracies. A bit of a drop from Murarachi, but a lot of scores above 99.9 here. Mystery L, Swarmsea, Chang Panda.
Oh my god. Philippines Rise is just something else to see.
It looks like Murarachi and Sign Up. Ooh, Sign Up with a drop there.
Oh,
that's going to be a massive swing. Philippines already had started to gain a bit of an advantage from the accuracy, but now it's just going to be even worse. Swarmsy's accuracy is still at 99.96.
Oh my god, looking at the hit error bar from Swarmsy is just magnificent.
It is so scented.
It's a work of art.
It's just dense.
It's just a work of art.
Mystery L as well, 99.93. And there's still some pretty good scores on Taiwan. Chang Panda 99.88 is really good, but Swarmsea is just counteracting that and more on top of it. So unless there is a miss to come through, maybe a couple misses from Philippines required for Taiwan to be able to close the score gap.
Yeah, looking at Taiwan's performance, it looks like they can actually sustain this type of speed, but might not actually have the accuracy needed to catch up to the Philippines. But seeing as this is one of the fastest sticks in terms of jump streams, maybe they might have a chance to upset the Philippines on some other Rise sticks. Maybe pray for a choke.
Yeah, you can definitely see that possibility there. We have 2 FCs from Taiwan and just 1 miss. And the 200 counts are quite low from Taiwan as well, but as you can see there, Swarmsea with 57.
Oh my
57
god,
300s with 998k.
What is this ratio
is...
average? I'm not talking about Swarmsy's ratio, which is absolutely astounding, like 57 regulars.
Philippines' entire team.
But yeah, Philippines' average ratio is up the roof.
998, 997, 994. There's not really much you can do against that as Taiwan there.
Like, if it's the same on other Rise sticks, then Taiwan is basically in the pickle here.
And they're going to need to go for their next pick now. I mean, Disconnected Hyper is the obvious one to go for if they are going to keep going for that SV angle. And I think after seeing that iterated score from Philippines, you really can't go for Rise just yet.
Yeah, I believe their only considerable options would be, Disconnected or one of the hybrids.
Yeah, potentially. The LNs being banned kind of could be a backfiring on them a little bit. Because after this last SV is picked out, there's mostly Rice maps left in the pool. Just a couple of hybrids there for Taiwan to go for if they want. For now, we have the second SV map coming in here. And we're going to see Joylin TP for Taiwan join, it looks like.
Yeah, we might be expecting Fola again for the last
Fola. So this one being, if Ruins was the more reading focused reading and accuracy focused SV. This is definitely more of the memorization. So I would say probably easier to get higher accuracy, but definitely harder to sight read and remember.
Yeah, comparing the two SVs together, Runes is kind of the SV where you kind of want to optimize your accuracy, and Disconnected is the one where you just have to practice to actually learn the map.
Yeah. The first step for Disconnected is to learn how to not miss. Then the rest of the time you're basically trying to not get 200s on the LNs.
Yeah, afterwards it's basically a work of micro-optimization on the rest of the map.
Yeah, and we'll see ratio probably coming into play a lot as well, if everyone manages to get relatively low 200 counts. So we're going to see who the third player for the Philippines is. I suspect it would have been Els.
Yeah, it would have been Els, but seeing the problems that she might be encountering, maybe an emergency plan is in order here.
Yeah, it seems like we're just waiting now, which is fine. Bit of internet issues. Can't really do much about that. But hopefully it just doesn't happen again. Yeah, interesting to see Joylin being in for Taiwan instead of Chang Panda. So they had separate players practicing different SV maps for this match.
Yeah, I think this is a fair strategy, especially for a country like Taiwan. Taiwan has many SV players, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual actually to see something like that, because normally with teams, especially some of the lower seeded teams, you would expect only a few of them to be really comfortable with SVs. But it is a very good strength to have 4 SV players potentially. Now it looks like we've got all the players in. We should be starting now, going for the third map. See if Taiwan can win their second point, or if Philippines will manage to win the break.
Yes, it is a matter of seeing who is going to be disconnected.
Oh no, don't.
Okay, let's start.
Don't say that. Don't make a disconnection joke. It looks like there is still a little bit of internet issues. Mostly client-sided for now, though.
Yeah, I might have cursed it. I'm sorry.
We're gonna be the ones who disconnect from the map, not the players.
Yeah, we basically cursed ourselves here.
Well, all we can do is wait.
All we can do is wait.
Got a
and
couple.
also advertise the banners. You can buy your banner for your profile to support your favorite country.
Yes, definitely go do that. It should be in the Osu store. Buying a banner will keep it on your profile for the rest of the tournament, and if you buy one for the eventual winner, then it will stay for a bit longer. But for now, it looks like we are into the map, and oh no, I don't like what I'm seeing here.
Oh no, if that's not Lion, that's just...
It is really early in the map though, so if yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
this was the very start of the map. I think there was the potential for it to be replayed, but if Els is still playing, then maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I think it would be in Philippines' best interest to abort and restart the pick here.
I think by now it might be a bit too late though. Like, it's already halfway into the map now. I think now it's too late. I think at the start it was definitely not too late. But either way, we can see Folar and Mystery L are holding some incredible accuracies right now.
Yeah,
and even through those LNs.
Yeah, Folar and Mystery L are definitely the sharpshooters as far as SV goes.
Yeah, Kura not far behind either. But again, we see 5 really, really solid scores, but L's some unknown issues. Most likely some technical issues going on there. So, very unfortunate way to lose a map.
Well, at least what we can grasp from this performance is that the Philippines definitely has an SV lineup.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a 3-way FC from Philippines here. None of these last notes are very difficult. So 3-way FC 2 times in a row from Taiwan, sorry, on the SV maps, and 71 ratio from Fola and 34 from Mystery L. They're really going for the extremely high ratios on the SV maps.
Yeah, a 998 from Mystery L is so good on Disconnected. Fola's scores is also good though. Like, there's the difference between good and very good here.
Yeah. Good and, like, ridiculous. Just like how? But those are some scarily high scores from a few players, definitely. Looks like we are going to be resetting it just a little bit to fix up some of these issues. Hopefully, Elza is able to play in some future maps, but it's not looking too great from Elza's side.
At least from what we've seen from Iterated, the Philippines is perfectly capable of keeping up the Rice picks. And now that we are out of SVs, I think the hybrids should not be too much trouble for them either.
Yeah, well, definitely. Especially a couple of those hybrid picks have quite difficult Rice components to them. Just 7 being the one that is more LN focused, I would say.
Yeah, and seeing that Taiwan actually banned LNs, Taiwan might not be that confident on LNs, so they might not even voluntarily go for it.
Perhaps it was just Totostribe in particular being a little bit less comfortable for the Taiwan players, because it did look like, at least from the qualifiers' point of view, that Taiwan was pretty well-rounded overall, not having any particular weaknesses. But it looks like we are going to get the words I never said. So Philippines going back to those Rice, another pretty heavy Rice map, the speed one of the pool, you would say.
Yeah, so far the Philippines have gone for the more conventional Rice. We have not touched the tech yet. So
yeah, I think that's fairly common.
Yeah, it is fairly common, and Iterated being the jump stream, this is the stream.
Yeah, so Philippines being pretty confident with their ratio, picking the ones that they are probably less likely to choke on, which makes a lot of sense. So Philippines really want to turn it into more of an accuracy battle where they think they can win with the advantage there, especially with Swansea and Mystery L's accuracy so far.
Wait, is Els playing this one?
Looks like Els is staying in for this one. And we're going to have Murarachi again subbing in for Fola. I believe this is going to be the first time we're seeing Joylin on Rice Map as well.
Oh, that's
so we'll see how they perform.
I believe that if the Philippines had been made aware of the possibility to abort, maybe they want to try something with those, and then if it doesn't work out, then sub in someone else. It's always worth trying though, because Els is definitely someone who deserves to play.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, if it isn't working out, then maybe Philippines have to get a substitute. Unfortunately, they might be trying one more time here. I guess we're just waiting for all the players to be ready. Oh, Taiwan making a substitution.
It looks like Joylin might not be playing the Rise after all.
Looks like Joylin was straight up kicked.
Oh no!
Nice. Always hard to see exactly what's going on in the lobbies from this point of view.
Well, it wouldn't be a World Cup without technical issues.
Of course, of course.
Especially on the first match.
Well, it's good to get all these technical issues out of the way early, hopefully, because we do have a pretty long block, actually. I believe there's 6 matches in a row, just this one block. So hopefully all these things are sorted out pretty soon. Actually, it looks like we're seeing Sirelia in for Taiwan, and well, I do believe Sirelia played quite a few of the qualifier maps for Taiwan as well. And we're seeing J1102 again in for the Philippines, so the same team that we saw for Iterated.
Alright, this makes more sense now.
Unless Sirelia joins Philippines.
Alright, we're seeing some player trades between countries already. Maybe they're
oh wait, Sirelia is PH. Okay, Sirelia is Philippines.
Yeah, maybe they were just playing
fantasy work. That is my bad. That is my bad. So we're going to see Swansea, Sirelia, and J102 with Murarachi, Chang Panda, and sign up for Taiwan. So the same Taiwanese team that we saw for Iterated, and just Mystery L swapping out for Sirelia for the Philippines in terms of rice maps. Now it should all be sorted.
Yeah, I
Looks
think
like we're ready to go.
Yeah, we are pretty much ready to start anytime now. I think it's interesting to notice that Murarachi almost has the same name as the Stage 7 song name, which kind of got me.
Mariochi.
Mariochi versus Murarachi.
It was pretty close.
Yeah, it is.
Mariochi Survivor.
Yeah, I can imagine that some of the MWC memes on Taiwan's side must have happened there. Hypothetically.
I wonder if Murarachi played Mariochi.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
I'm struggling to say both names now. This is you shouldn't have brought this up. It was a bad idea. Anyway, I think we're waiting for all players to ready up still. It looks like sign up for Taiwan is not quite ready right now, so still got a bit of a break.
Are we getting a sub for Taiwan again?
Looks like they're going to be re-invited for the time being. A little bit more technical issues now. This time coming from inside Osu.
Yeah, we are making several planets align to bring you this Mania World Cup.
We have to have exactly one issue just in a row. They can never be at the same time. They have to be one after the other to really stall things out as much as possible.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing whack-a-mole with software bugs. Like when you fix a bug, another bug appears, and you kind of just have to follow the bug until everything is kind of stable.
So it looks like we are going to have to wait again for the last player of Taiwan sign up to re-log in and see if he can join. Plenty of time for the players to cool down in the meantime.
Yeah, arguably, it might not be a good thing either because some of the players rely on being warmed up.
Yeah, definitely. Especially before a more physically intensive map. Not the most, but definitely more than the SB maps we've seen.
Absolutely. I think this is probably the most physically demanding map as well.
Okay, so hopefully we get the last player finally in. We'll be able to start. Obviously this being Philippines' pick and the chance to tie it back up again. What I am kind of interested, I'm really interested in seeing what Taiwan will pick next actually. Because two of the more straightforward maps from the Rice Pool have already been picked by Philippines.
Like beyond the SV maps, I think the strategy like on Taiwan's side would be interesting to consider. They could go either way. Like I think they're pretty sure to lose the Rice picks, seeing the ratios from the Philippines team. So they're definitely considering the hybrids, but which hybrid to pick?
If it was before the match started, I would have said 7. But after seeing them ban Todestribe, I'm not sure if they're confident on LNs at this current moment. So it will really have to depend on what they feel they have the most comfort on, I guess. And for now, it looks like we're finally into the map here after a bit of a wait. And it looks like Taiwan actually being the one with a little bit of an advantage with 3 really high accuracies. J1002 a little bit behind the other 5 players, but not too far behind. It's just the start of the map. Yeah, and now we're into the first streams.
Yeah, I think the accuracy advantage was exclusively on the quote-unquote 2-star accuracy.
Yeah, and now Murarachi finding quite a few 200s in these speed streams. Sign Up also dropping a little bit, and Chang Panda as well now. All 3 players from Taiwan dropping in accuracy, and it looks like Swarmsea and J1002 have almost the exact same accuracy as they did before. Sorelia just dropping a tiny bit, but still accuracy well in the lead, and Murarachi and Sign Up also finding misses.
Wait, no. Some of those are client misses, actually. I was waiting a little before calling them.
Sign Up looks like it was a legitimate miss, though. At this point, 300 combo ago. Murarachi is still holding on to that full combo, but really is struggling with that accuracy, getting a lot of 200s. So now with 1 miss on Taiwan's side and the accuracy well in favor of Philippines, it's looking like it will be very hard for Taiwan to come back. It's going to need immediate misses, and a lot of them, and not from Taiwan's side. Sign Up unfortunately missing again.
Oh my god. The Philippines' rise is so cohesive. Everyone is above 99.8.
J1002 had the exact same accuracy by the end that they had at the very start with the 2-star accuracy section. But look, 998, 993, 993, 51 from Swarmsea, and not a single 200 on the entire Philippines team. Ridiculously consistent performance.
I kind of want to hide Swarmsea's score with a post-it or something, because it is absolutely disgusting to see.
51. Stream speed that those kind of stream speed patterns I feel like are quite difficult to get that low 300s as well. So 51 is just incredible. But they've managed to tie it up now, Philippines, so Taiwan now have the big question, where are they going to go with their pick?
Yeah, it might be the end of the back and forth here as the picks get harder and harder to win.
There's no more SV, so I can only imagine that LN would have to be the target for Taiwan. But unfortunately, they're both gone. 7 is probably the most likely pick, I would say. Probably the best pick as well.
Yeah, at this point it's about picking the least worst, which happens to a lot of teams.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to pick 7. Yeah, I think the Rice picks, Axel Grinder and Ondine, probably a little bit too accuracy focused against the Philippines, or what the Philippines have shown so far. But 7 here, Taiwan are going to hope for a little bit of accuracy drop from the Philippines to try and take advantage of maybe a bit of LN weakness. Especially now, since Els, it looks like, is not able to play. Philippines might have to substitute in a 4th player for their LN picks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because 7 doesn't kid around in terms of releases. So any accuracy boost is valuable in this pick.
Yeah, and what even harder than just trying to release LNs is trying to release LNs while there is Jacks and other Rice patterns going on at the same time.
Yeah, from feedback I've gotten from other players, like the hardest parts of 7 is notably switching from 2-hand trills to inverses patterns.
It looks like we are going to get the Mystery L coming in for Philippines, taking the place of Swarmsea. And Folar is going to come back in for Taiwan as well for this pick. And Joylin. So back to the SV team for Taiwan, it looks like.
Yeah, because LNs is basically SV now.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
So you know what they call long nodes, they call them sliders as well, and SV can mean slider velocity, I guess.
Yes. It's slider velocity. How fast the LNs are is the definition of SV, of course.
Yes, as we all know it.
So it looks like the teams have gotten sorted out much quicker this time, which is fortunate. So we'll be able to see. I'm interested in seeing how the Philippines in particular fare on this.
Wait, what am I seeing in the game chat right now? People didn't know that they could switch teams?
Interesting. What a useful feature.
What a feature. I cannot believe that we've got so many features.
Didn't expect people to be able to switch teams. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially Sorelia going for Taiwan.
Yeah. The switching team feature really did come in handy at that particular point in time. But right now it looks like we're ready to get into the 5th map. Still tied 2-2, so this is where the match is really going to start picking up who is going to take the advantage. So this map is really important for both teams now.
Yeah, honestly, if Taiwan can actually get a point for this, it's going to be major.
Actually, Weiru managing to slip in there while I wasn't looking, so we're going to see a new player that we haven't seen so far in the match from Taiwan. And so far, they're doing pretty fantastic with 99.96%.
Wow, Taiwan getting the biggest, the huge mileage from the entire roster, actually.
Yeah, actually, Taiwan's accuracy right now is really strong. Philippines is looking like they're also just as good right now. It's hard to tell who really has the advantage.
Oh my god, this pick is so close, actually.
Reiwu is basically tying out Mystery L's accuracy. And everyone else is holding a pretty solid 99.8, but Fola looks like he drops accuracy just a slight amount, maybe a 200 there. It still looks like it's just about tied.
Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. Reiwu just holding Taiwan's advantage just barely. Yeah. And it's
Reiwu is the only reason that Taiwan is keeping up right now. It looks like Sign Up and Fola are slightly behind most of the other players, but J1002 and Sorelia have dropped a little bit of accuracy down to 99.7 now as well.
It's so easy to drop some 200s in this map in particular.
And we're at the very end of the map. It looks like Taiwan finally, just now at the very end, of starting to come away with a little bit of an accuracy advantage, but no 200s can be afforded. Getting to the last few seconds of the map, any 200s could decide it. And it looks like Taiwan is going to come across with their first non-SV point, which is huge. V1 double S from Weiru for their first MWC map of this year.
Oh my god.
994.8k. Actually, pretty much tied with Mystery L's score. Almost exactly the same score from both of them.
Yeah, Mystery L's ratio is actually really good, and Reiu's double S, V1 double S, is actually like pretty astounding. The fact that they can have 994 on this map, which is very tricky, probably one of the trickiest hybrids of this pool, is a testament to how good they are.
Yeah, and that was some really good LN consistency overall from Taiwan. Philippines keeping up as well, obviously. But now, with that point, surely Taiwan are kicking themselves a little bit for banning Toto Stride.
Yeah. Like, when you see a team banning the same category as the ban that you actually meant, it is worth taking some time to think about it.
Yeah, there's something up. If both teams banning the same category, you know something's gone wrong there's some differences of opinions for both teams about where their strengths are actually at, you could say. But either way now, Taiwan finding themselves in a really nice position with this match, being 3-2 up over Philippines, which is a pretty incredible performance. The Philippines do have more picks left that they should be comfortable with than Taiwan do. So we'll see how Philippines decide to respond. There is still Axel Grinder left up, there's still Ondine, and Diamante as well, being the more technical option.
Yeah, I believe for Taiwan, it is where things are going to be getting a little bit harder, because all of the remaining picks are actually quite tricky. Like, Pandora Paradox is almost Rice. It's the Rice hybrid, but it's kind of dangerous to go for that. Destroy is really hard.
Yeah, it's hard to really it'll be really hard for Taiwan to pick, right? You don't really know where they're going to go for next. But for now, Philippines are going to go with Axel Grinder, something that they should be very comfortable with. It's one of the long maps in the pool, actually, or longer than some of the other Rice. But more of a stamina. Lower BPM than Iterated was, but lasting a little bit longer, probably a bit harder on the stamina.
Yeah, so far the Philippines have only picked conventional Rice picks. They've picked Jump Stream, they've picked single stream, and now they're picking stamina. And this also features some gem stream to a good extent. And
we have seen some pretty ridiculous consistency from the Philippines as a whole on Rice maps. So stamina is definitely in their comfort zone for this stage.
Absolutely, but I believe that Taiwan might be able to gamble on the tech. Like for example, Ondine might be a pick for Taiwan if they're going for accuracy.
It could. Ondine definitely could come up a little bit of a difficult one to try and hack as well. But no matter what they pick next, it will be somewhat of a risk.
Yeah,
Looks like now we're actually going to see we're in for another map now. So staying on for the Rice maps as well now, it looks like. We're going to see Swampsea, of course, coming back in for the Philippines.
I believe that on both teams, I think all the players have played at least once.
Yeah, we've got the classic Rice team for the Philippines that they've had for all the maps, and Taiwan now with the same team but with Weiryu coming in. So we'll see how they manage with this stamina heavy pick. Actually, a bit of a rough start from Jay. Nope, that's just Climb. So far, everyone off to a pretty decent start. Everyone around 99.9. Swampsea a little bit better at 99.95 right now.
It looks like Taiwan can actually hold their ground pretty well. I think if a choke happens on the Philippines side, then it definitely would go to Taiwan.
Okay, big question. Were any of those misses real misses? Mystery L's was not, but J1002 and Weiryu... No, J1002 was not a real miss. Weiryu's might have been, though. That may have been one miss for Taiwan early on in the map, whereas Philippines holding on to all three of their full combos, all with really good accuracy as well, so Taiwan are going to be put a little bit behind now, and Philippines overall with the accuracy lead as well. So definitely an unfortunate miss. Now, with these kind of accuracies, Taiwan really have to bank on Philippines missing at some point. The sooner, of course, the better for them. But there's not really any way to come back from a miss against these kind of accuracies, unless the opponent messes up.
Yeah, Swampsea and the Mysterial are making a great job of being bastions of their country.
Yeah, those two players, Swampsea and Mystriel, have just had absolutely incredible ratios this entire match. And it looks like we're actually missing again now that we're getting into the last quarter of the map. So,
yeah.
Unless the Philippines miss several times, maybe all three of their players missing, it's not looking too good for Taiwan in this map.
It looks like Weiryu can actually act this map really well, so it might be either chokes or mechanical issues.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the map. There's no misses coming out of Philippines' side, so that's going to be a really high team score. Oh. 150 on Swampsea's side, but 85 300s. On a long map as well, that is.
Wait, where did that 50 come from?
That was towards the end.
And still ending up with a 99.91. How?
But we're actually having pretty close ratio-wise to to Swampsy there. 1-1-6, but just with the 2 misses. Unfortunately, tanking the score a little bit there. But Taiwan picks really fast now. They're picking Destroy, 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 which is, out of all the maps remaining, the one with the most amount of LN. But at the same time, it is notoriously one of the harder picks of the pool. So it really comes down to if Taiwan can really keep up with this level of difficulty against a team with as much skill as the Philippines has.
Which I think is a possibility. I think it's definitely a possibility if L is still unable to play.
Yeah, if the L situation isn't resolved just yet, then there is some kind of opportunity for Taiwan. But it's hard to say with a map this hard. It really does depend on how comfortable these players are, because any kind of misses are just things that you can't afford against the Philippines.
Oh, we see Kura playing this one.
Well, Kura coming in. Last time we saw Kura in was the very first map of the match, sorry. Looks like we are seeing Fola and Joylin in again for Taiwan. Sorelia coming in again as well for the Philippines. So more of their hybrid team, it looks like, for the Philippines there. And this is a pretty gigantic point as well, because as we know right now, 3-all, if Taiwan manages to win this map, then it guarantees a tiebreaker, no matter what happens on the Philippines' own pick.
Yes, this is hands down the most important point for Taiwan. 7 was already super important and they got it. And now this is the last obstacle. Well, before the tiebreaker anyways.
Yeah, before the tiebreaker, but Philippines winning this point means that they are going to have an absolutely huge advantage with their own pick. Taiwan do not want to be put up in a situation where they have to break point against Philippines' own pick, because Philippines still have a lot of comfortable picks left over. So this is really do or die for Taiwan now. We'll see if they are able to take yet another point from the Philippines here.
The fight for survival as the client bugs a little bit. Might need a panic here.
No, it's just SV, clearly.
Oh yeah, Destroy, Destroy, Destroy is an SV map. We see a lot of Chroma SV maps.
Okay, so now we wait. And it looks like early on, Joylin finding a miss, potentially.
Still at the beginning, but it's kind of a questionable place because it is right on the 400 combo mark.
We are seeing some much lower accuracies all around the board, really showcasing how hard this map is compared to some of the other ones we've seen. Sorelia with 99.4, a little bit behind everyone else, but the miss from Joylin is really keeping Philippines in the lead right now. So far, Weiru and Fola actually having the best accuracies in the lobby. So without that miss, I think Taiwan actually has the accuracy advantage. But as I said before, a miss against Philippines is really not something that you want to be risking here, because Philippines just hasn't been missing so far.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. However, Destroy, Destroy, Destroy is probably one of the easiest maps to miss on.
And we'll see how the players do with the second half now. Halfway point. Sorelia actually finding a miss, and that's huge for Taiwan. The accuracy drop from Sorelia as well, down to 99.3, and Taiwan have a definite lead now. They just need to hold on to this. If they hold on to their accuracy, 99.8 for Weiru, doing really well.
There's a third of the map left, and this third is going to be super crucial as we go into the jump drills.
There cannot be any misses. A single miss from Taiwan completely loses the lead right now. It is too close in the accuracy. And we're getting into the last fifth of the map now.
Oh my god, this is going to be so major for Taiwan.
With Joylin dropping accuracy a little bit, but Weiroo has been building accuracy from the start of the second half onwards and is now at 99.83. Weiroo and Fola really putting the team on their backs right now. And it looks like Taiwan are actually going to take a fourth point now.
Oh my god. Guaranteed tiebreaker for Taiwan.
This is huge. This is the 25th seed right now against the 8th seed. And we can just see exactly what we meant at the start. All of these teams are so close in skill together. The seed numbers don't matter at all. Philippines now up against the wall. They need to win this next point and then the tiebreaker in order to win this match.
So the survivor question might get answered from one match, exactly one match.
Yep, the very first match in this tournament could very well be a tiebreaker right now. The Philippines have the opportunity to push this to tiebreaker. We'll see what they decide to pick. There's 3 maps left in the pool, 2 Rice maps and Pandora Paradox in the hybrid section. So we'll see what they decide to go for. Ondine being the more accuracy focused, a little bit of a weird snapping map. We've got the tech map in Diamante and the more Rice focused hybrid. I think the hybrid is something that they'll probably not want to turn to at this point in time. So I suspect we're going to have one of the 2 Rice maps coming through.
Yeah, I believe they're going to be going for Rice no matter what. I think Diamante might be the better option.
Potentially. It all does depend on how comfortable the Philippines are. Another thing to take into consideration right now is the nerves. Philippines have to be feeling some nerves right now, and maybe that influences their decision on what map to pick. Because I don't know about the players here, but if I was 1 point away with a must-win point away from tiebreaker, I would be pretty nervous playing a tech map. But either way, it looks like they are going to go with it.
Like, the thing with nerves is that it's pretty nerves are everywhere. I think both of the teams must be nervous out of their mind right now.
Oh, definitely. Taiwan as well, even though they are up, they have to be feeling the nerves as well. Being so close to a major upset. Honestly, but right now, this is the Philippines' best chance of coming back to the match right now, is winning this Rice map. And so far, we know exactly how good they've been on Rice.
Yeah, the thing is with Diamante is that it's so bursty that it's so easy to miss. So Taiwan could very well close it 5-3 against the Philippines if the Philippines are not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I do think that Philippines just overall has been phenomenal on these Rice picks, so the chance of them missing on a Rice pick probably not as high as Taiwan. We're going to see Murarachi coming in yet again instead of Weiroo. Player that is seemingly more comfortable on the Rice picks, at least combo-wise.
Also, looking ahead to the potential tiebreaker, I have to wonder, between the Philippines and Taiwan, well, Philippines minus Ls, who is going to win? That's really hard to say.
A really interesting question, because the hybrid maps we've seen Taiwan win. And of course, the Tiebreaker is one of those hybrid maps. So we'll see what happens if we get to that point. Right now, the players can't really focus on the Tiebreaker themselves. All they have to do is put all of their energy into this one map right now. And we are getting Swampsy back in, of course. It looks like both teams have their members sorted out.
Oh man, I'm not ready for this pick.
Okay, let's get into it now. Match point for Taiwan. The chance of a tiebreaker is out in the open for the Philippines to take. We'll see who manages to win now.
So, while destroy, destroy, destroy was the most important point for Taiwan, this is the most important point for the Philippines.
Absolutely. Well, there couldn't be anything more important than up against an immediate loss.
Yeah, match point. Makes sense.
Yep. So here we go at the start here. We have a little bit of an AC drop from sign up at the very start, but nothing too major. Right now, Swampsy is the one sticking out above everyone else with a 99.95, but Chang Panda actually has it matched. So the accuracy difference is not too huge, but Murarachi finding a little bit of drop in AC. Down to 99.6.
We're seeing kind of 3 mirror matches against each other, and the Philippines have the advantage right now in terms of the mirror matches.
Yeah, Mystery L beating out Murarachi's accuracy just by a bit there. 0.2% is the advantage there.
They get the burst. Everyone gets the burst.
Yeah, combo's holding really strong for all players. It's just in this accuracy advantage that we're seeing, and Sorelia actually dropping in accuracy quite a lot, down to 99.6. Now it's below Synop's accuracy and Murarachi's. So there is a little bit of a window for Taiwan to come back if they manage to build up their accuracies, but it has to come up pretty quickly because we're already reaching the end of this really short map.
Yeah, last quarter of the map, and any miss could matter.
Chang Panda. And it looks like that might seal the deal for the end of this map. The accuracy advantage is still in the Philippines side, even with that miss. So now we are going to end up with the Philippines win, taking their 4th point and forcing the tiebreaker in the very first match of the tournament.
First match of the tournament, tiebreaker. Yes. Yes.
This is crazy. Taiwan as well, a country that I would not have expected whatsoever coming into this tournament to be this good. Right? Holding up their own against the Philippines in such a massive way, taking it to tiebreaker is a pretty insane performance from them, and now we've got it. We are going to be going on to the standard Camellia tiebreaker that we see in every pool, of course.
Yes, Prolove is
we'll have to see what the lineups are going to look like. I can only imagine it will be a similar lineup that we saw for the hybrid maps. We already see Weiru coming in for Taiwan. Definitely one of the strong players that stood out on those hybrid maps.
We might be getting a little bit impatient.
Hang on a second.
I might be getting a little bit impatient here.
The script was leaked, unfortunately. Pretend you didn't see that.
Come on, client, don't be biased. So, while we are whacking the client behind the scenes for being absolutely biased, we are going to be starting the actual tiebreaker.
Yeah, so we're waiting for the 3rd player for the Philippines to come in. It looks like Swampsy is going to be playing now on the hybrid. And Kura we're going to get in as well for the Philippines, alongside Mystery L, with Fola, Murarachi, and Weiru for Taiwan. A lot of well-rounded players on both teams that we're seeing for both of these. Just a note as well, just before we get into the map, right now Japan versus Spain is starting on its way in the background. We're going to be switching to that just after this, but Japan banning Harajuku Iohoi and Spain banning Iterated in that match. And it looks like Kura is sight reading this. Sight reading the tiebreaker right now. That is a scary thought.
Oh my god. I would never have expected such a chaotic match to start the weekend. Oh my god.
I think Swampsea also said that they were sight reading the tiebreaker as well. I wonder if the Philippines has practiced this much.
So, live news from the other match going on right now, Japan versus Spain. Japan wins their first point on Axel Blinder, and a father, also known as A.M. Duskia, gets a 998.776.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Japan actually
What a
got
ratio.
5,000 points?
That is going to be another close match, it looks like. But we're going to see that right after this. For now, we have the very last map we'll see in this match, the tiebreaker between Philippines and Taiwan, just about to start. Make sure you cheer for your favorite teams now, because everything is on the line. Loser of this goes straight down into loser's bracket. And is that a 50 from Swampsea at the very start, missing the first LN?
The client combos are all over.
That is the client. Okay, that is the client.
But anyways, everything is on the table right now. Everything is on the line for both of those teams.
This is for everything. Kura dropping accuracy quite a lot on these LNs in the intro. Not looking very comfortable so far, dropping down to 99.1, and that's going to give Taiwan a little bit of a lead. But not too much, because Mystery L is holding a really solid score. Sign Up finding a miss early on, but Swampsea trades it back.
Yeah, this tiebreaker is so easy to miss on, especially in their nerves.
So the misses were traded one apiece, but the accuracy drop from Sign Up is much more severe than Swampsea's accuracy drop. Philippines are in the lead solely based on the accuracy right now. And we'll have to see Sign Up to increase that accuracy a little bit more if Taiwan wants to edge back a little bit of a lead. Fola right now holding a 99.4, a little bit behind as well, but so is Kura. It really is Weiru versus Mystery L right here, being the highest scores on both teams.
Oh boy.
And Fola finding a miss there for Taiwan. That's going to be a pretty decent sized lead for the Philippines now. Philippines are going to start to run away with a bit of a lead as long as they can keep on to their own combos.
Yeah,
right now in a really good position.
It seems that both of the teams have one top player, one middle player, and one player who is holding the third player role right now. But right now, overall, the Philippines seem to be having the advantage on all three of those aspects.
And Mystery L looking like the strongest scorer in the lobby so far, but Weiru's not that far behind, and it really just does come down to that one miss from Fola and Sign Up. It's where most of the score lead is coming from right now. But Fola finding another miss now. That was after building up to 400 combo as well, so that's going to be a lot of score being missing. that's seemingly struggling on a lot of these more physically intensive patterns that we're seeing in this tiebreaker.
Yeah, this tiebreaker is kind of Jack-oriented, and that might be an issue for the Taiwanese players.
It is a really difficult tiebreaker as well, especially when we compare it to a lot of previous year's tiebreakers, definitely. But now we're getting into the last quarter of the map. We'll see if all these players can hold on. Philippines just needs to hold on to their combo. Accuracy drops are not going to be enough for Taiwan to come back into this map.
Theoretically, Taiwan should have the advantage on the lens, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, there really does need to be misses coming out. It can't just be an accuracy lead in LNs, it has to be combo leads. And just like that Swampsea missing, is that going to be enough though? If it's a singular miss and the accuracy from Swampsea is still really high, 99.7 still. And no one else from the Philippines seeming like they're having any trouble keeping combo. We're actually finding a drop towards the end there. It looks like there's just not going to be enough time.
Yeah,
we're finding another miss. And unless something catastrophic happens, we're at the very, very end of the map. It looks like everyone from Philippines has managed to hold on for long enough, and Philippines will just barely manage to win this match in the end, 5-4.
2 full combos on the Philippines side, and especially on suboptimal conditions as well. That's absolutely incredible to see. Wow, absolutely astounding performance from all players involved here.
Mystery L right there being the MVP, 3 200s that entire map, as well as having almost the best ratio. Swampsea there with popping off a little bit with that ratio. But overall, just an amazing team score overall from Philippines, and they're really showing why they are a high-seeded team, a top-seeded team in this tournament.
I must say Kura is so underrated.
That was a sight read as well from Kura, yeah.
Kura is so underrated, oh my god.